These 10 major nations just imposed total rejection policies on Filipino immigrants, effective immediately. Discover which countries are blocking Filipino and canceling existing visas without any explanation or appeal process. In 10, Australia. For many Filipinos dreaming of a life down under, 2025 brought a wave of disappointment. Australia has quietly raised the bar for skilled migration, making it harder than ever to qualify. The government now demands higher points, more work experience, and even Australian credentials to stand a chance. This shift left thousands of Filipino applicants stuck, watching their dreams vanish in the paperwork. The open door once seen in Australia now feels like a heavily guarded gate. Beyond the paperwork, geography has also become a wall. Australia's new regional visa policies are pushing immigrants away from popular cities like Sydney and Melbourne. But many Filipinos aim for these cities, where communities and opportunities already exist. Now, unless you're willing to move to remote towns, your chances have shrunk. It's a strategy that quietly filters out thousands of hopefuls. Security concerns added one more layer of rejection. Australia has ramped up background checks after several cyber incidents linked to foreign actors. Even minor inconsistencies now trigger rejections or endless delays. While not directly aimed at Filipinos, they are caught in the storm. What used to be a predictable process now feels like a lottery with impossible odds. 9. South Korea. In recent years, South Korea was seen as a land of promise for many Filipino workers, especially in manufacturing and agriculture. But 2025 changed the game. The government slashed the number of E9 visas, cutting off thousands from legal employment paths. Many Filipinos who had already trained for these jobs were left stranded, their hopes erased with a single policy update. It's a silent crackdown that's hitting the most prepared the hardest. Adding to the pressure, South Korea's media has spotlighted the issue of overstaying foreign workers, causing public concern. Immigration authorities responded fast, tightening entry checks and deporting those with expired documents. This climate of fear makes it risky for Filipinos, even with valid intentions. Many now feel like suspects before they even land. Trust in the system is quickly evaporating. Underneath it all is a rising wave of nationalism. As jobs become more competitive, public sentiment has turned inward. Filipinos, once welcomed for their strong work ethic, are now caught in the middle of a shifting national mood. Even qualified workers are being overlooked in favor of locals. It's not just about visas anymore, but about belonging in a country that's slowly closing its doors. 8. Canada. Canada, once known for its welcoming attitude, is starting to feel colder for Filipino immigrants in 2025. The government has introduced a strict cap on temporary foreign workers, limiting job opportunities across the board. Many Filipinos who once filled roles in caregiving, service, and agriculture are now being turned away. The dream of working in Canada is becoming a race for fewer and fewer spots. Hopeful applicants now face brutal competition just to get noticed. Even those who get through the first stage are far from safe. Canada's immigration system is overwhelmed with applications, leading to painful delays and unexplained rejections. Some Filipinos have waited over a year, only to get denied without a clear reason. Others find their paperwork sent back again and again for tiny errors. What once felt like a clear path is now a frustrating maze with no exit in sight. To make things worse, Canada is prioritizing refugees and emergency visas, especially for Ukrainians and people from conflict zones. This shift in focus has pushed Filipino workers and families further down the list. Even family reunification cases are taking longer than ever. It's a heartbreaking change for many who saw Canada as a reliable path to a better life. Now, the future feels uncertain, even for the most deserving. 7. Israel. In the past, Israel relied heavily on Filipino caregivers, praising their dedication and compassion. But in 2025, that demand is rapidly shrinking. The government has started favoring local workers and exploring automation in elderly care. Agencies that once recruited hundreds of Filipinos per year are now closing doors. The quiet removal of these jobs has created a ripple of panic across Filipino communities abroad and at home. Work permit renewals have also become a major obstacle. Many long-time Filipino workers are now seeing their permits denied or delayed without explanation. Some are being asked to leave the country after years of service, despite having spotless records. Families that depended on these remittances are suddenly facing an uncertain future. The emotional toll is as heavy as the financial loss. Deportation campaigns have intensified, targeting visa overstays and undocumented workers. Even minor infractions are resulting in arrests and removals. The once stable Filipino presence in Israel is now shrinking under pressure. What began as a trusted partnership has turned into a situation filled with fear, silence, and rapid change. Filipinos who built lives in Israel are now being pushed to start over from nothing. 6. New Zealand once stood out as a peaceful escape with great opportunities for hard-working migrants. But in 2025, the rules have changed, and Filipinos are feeling the impact. The cost of living has soared, and many applicants now fail to meet the strict financial requirements. Student and work visa holders are being asked to show proof of funds that go far beyond their reach. It's a new barrier that locks out the very people New Zealand once welcomed. The government has also introduced its immigration reset, focusing only on high-income and highly skilled workers. Filipinos applying for entry-level jobs or trade roles are now being filtered out. Even applicants with previous experience in the country are being rejected under the new criteria. The message is clear. Only a small group of elite applicants will be considered. This shift leaves little room for those chasing modest but honest beginnings. Language has become another hurdle. New Zealand now demands higher English proficiency scores, even for positions where basic communication would be enough. Many qualified Filipinos are failing to meet the strict benchmarks and losing their spot to others. These policy changes aren't just technical adjustments. They are closing the gates slowly, squeezing out people who once stood a real chance. Even Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia has long been one of the top destinations for Filipino workers, especially in domestic and construction jobs. But in 2025, that relationship is fading fast. The Saudization policy is now in full force, replacing foreign labor with Saudi nationals. Thousands of Filipinos have already lost their jobs or had their contracts cancelled unexpectedly. The kingdom is changing, and Filipinos are being pushed out of the workforce they once dominated. Contract disputes have also surged, with many Filipinos reporting unfair treatment, withheld salaries, and broken agreements. These issues have drawn international attention, forcing the Philippine government to issue warnings about working in Saudi Arabia. Recruiters are now more cautious, and deployment bans have even been considered. What was once seen as a golden opportunity is now filled with red flags and warnings. In a surprising twist, the demand for domestic helpers has also declined. Saudi Arabia is investing heavily in automation and training local workers for roles once filled by OFWs. As a result, entire recruitment agencies in the Philippines are shutting down or redirecting efforts to other countries. For many Filipino families, the loss of this income source is devastating. The kingdom's new direction has left countless dreams behind. Japan has always attracted Filipino workers with promises of stable jobs and a safe environment. But in 2025, a quiet shift in policy is shutting that door. The technical intern training program, once a reliable pathway, is now under fire for abuse and exploitation. In response, Japan has reduced the number of accepted trainees, making it harder for Filipinos to enter. What used to be a structured opportunity now feels like a shrinking window. Long-term security is also slipping away. Even after years of working in Japan, many Filipinos find it nearly impossible to transition to permanent residency. Strict rules and unclear pathways are leaving thousands in limbo. Some have spent nearly a decade there, only to be told they must leave. Japan's immigration model remains rigid, favoring short-term labor without long-term commitment. Language is becoming a wall too high to climb. New policies in 2025 now demand advanced Japanese proficiency, even for basic service jobs. Filipinos who were once praised for their hard work are now being excluded for not mastering the language. These changes paint a clear picture. Japan wants control over who stays, and Filipinos are being quietly pushed out of the equation. 3. United States. For decades, the United States has been a top destination for Filipinos chasing the American dream. But in 2025, that dream is slipping further out of reach. Tourist and student visa rejection rates have surged, especially for Filipino applicants. Embassies are now stricter than ever, flagging even small red flags as signs of possible overstays. Many are being denied without a second chance, turning hope into heartbreak. Family reunification, once a reliable path, is now a painfully slow process. Filipino families are facing wait times of 10 years or more to bring loved ones to the US. Green card applications sit in endless backlogs with no clear timeline in sight. Even approved petitions are delayed due to yearly quotas. Families are being torn apart by a system that promises unity but delivers silence. Another major hurdle is the scrutiny of dual-intent applicants. Filipinos who apply for tourist visas but are suspected of planning to work or overstay are being denied at record rates. The US immigration system is growing more suspicious and selective. The land of opportunity still exists, but for many Filipinos, the gates are closing faster than ever. 2. United Arab Emirates. The United Arab Emirates has long been a second home for thousands of Filipinos working in hospitality, construction, and domestic services. But in 2025, that open market is shifting. Employers are now hiring cheaper labor from new source countries, leaving many Filipinos without contract renewals. This quiet replacement is pushing out one of the most trusted workforces in the region. The jobs are still there, but they're no longer for Filipinos. Entire sectors are freezing new work visas. Industries like hotel services and retail, once filled with OFWs, are now facing visa suspensions due to oversaturation. The government is prioritizing economic balance, which means fewer spots for foreign workers. Even experienced applicants are being denied without warning. These silent blocks are turning into full barriers. The UAE has also expanded its blacklist system. More Filipinos are being barred from re-entry due to contract violations, even minor ones. Agencies have warned that even small mistakes can end your chances permanently. This has created a climate of fear where one error could cost a future. For many Filipinos, the UAE is no longer the stable ground it once was. It's become a risky gamble. Singapore has earned a reputation for being efficient, modern, and full of opportunity. But in 2025, it's also become one of the toughest places for Filipinos to secure work. New foreign worker quotas are targeting sectors where Filipinos once thrived, like healthcare, hospitality, and construction. These caps are leaving countless applicants without options. The roles still exist, but now they're out of reach for many. Even long-term Filipino workers are feeling the impact. Renewal applications are being denied without clear reasons, cutting off careers that took years to build. Some who've worked in Singapore for over a decade are suddenly being told to pack up. It's not just a new chapter, it's a harsh ending. The city that once rewarded loyalty is now forcing many to start over from scratch. Singapore's locals first policy is more visible than ever. The government is prioritizing Singaporean talent, reshaping its workforce from the inside out. Foreigners are being pushed out silently, not by loud announcements, but by quiet rejections. For Filipinos, the message is painfully clear. Your time here is over. The red dot on the map now marks a closed door. So what do you think is the real reason behind this wave of rejections? Is it just policy, or are some countries silently closing doors to Filipinos for good? Let me know in the comments where you're watching this from, especially if you or someone you know has been affected. Click the video that's now appearing on your screen to dive deeper into how immigration is changing around the world. You need to see this next. And don't forget to share this video with someone who's planning to work abroad in 2025. It might save them from a painful surprise.